And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And I was wondering, you ever have an idea for a project? You just can't stop thinking about it. It's like every time you just turn around, you stop for a minute, your mind just starts going off. Ooh, what if I did this? And, ooh, this would be really cool. Yeah, this is where I'm at in my life right now. Actually, no, this happens to me a lot. But right now, I've actually been thinking about a storage room I want to build on Tinker World. Okay. I know, oh, Minecraft, everybody loves Minecraft. Yes, I love Minecraft. It's cool. But this is one of those things I just can't stop thinking about it, right? I can't stop engineering this whole thing in my head, right? And it's fun, right? Right? And as I said, this isn't the only thing, but this is like my current project obsession at the moment, and it's weird, right? And I'm thinking about this, like piecing together bits and pieces of storage text. Like, oh, what if I used minecart instant unloading over here, and if I use water streams and double speed sorters over here, and oh, I'm going to need a shulker box and loader. I could put it over there, and then this end a hook into like a multi-item sorter. You know, it's all cool, right? Yeah, it's so much fun, and I get obsessed with this stuff, right? And it's weird, right? Maybe it's not weird. I don't know, but I get obsessed with solving problems sometimes, and like I'll be working on stuff like in Minecraft, like the storage room, or maybe I'll be working on something else. Like maybe I'll be working on some code for a project I've thinking about at home. Maybe something for my bot or working on my website or something like that. And I just get sort of obsessed with working on the project that sometimes I sort of forget to sleep. Right? I have this problem. Sometimes I'll start working on something at night. It's like, all right, you know, after stream, or maybe just I'm home from work at night. I've had dinner. Oh, let me start on this. I want to try something. And try. Oh, I'll do this and do this and this. Next thing I know, it's midnight, right? And I should have been asleep, you know, at like 9:30. You know, it's just like, but no, I got to keep working on this. I just don't even think, oh yeah, sleep is a thing that should happen. No, I got to focus on this stupid project. And it's funny, even working on the outline for this podcast, I keep going back to the storage system I want to build on Tinker World. And it's like, oh, yeah, what if I do this? And I can't do it this way because I need it to do that. And it's just, it's invading and taking over my life. So for those of you who want a sneak peek of what's coming, yes, I am going to be working on the storage system from Tinker World this week. But heck, is when this podcast comes out, I've already probably done that on yesterday as you're watching. Okay, time is weird when you're dealing with future and all that other stuff. Okay, but it's weird. Is when I'm start getting this sort of project obsession, right? I'll start getting these ideas, these flashes come so fast, and sometimes they get rejected right away. Sometimes I latch onto them, and I'll just get all of these different thoughts of, oh, what if I approach it this way? Oh, I could do it this way. What if I do it this? Maybe they're going to have this problem or that. And sometimes the ideas are flowing so fast, I can barely keep up with what's flashing through my wee little mind, right? But that's part of what makes it fun, right? Because it's so exciting, right? So let's talk about the storage system, okay? I've got a bunch of different ways I could set up the input for the storage system. And it's like, okay, I could just dump it into a chest and let the hoppers take it all out into an item elevator, right? That's fairly normal. I've built stuff like that before. On the other hand, as I was poking around other storage systems, and I saw one that was kind of fun, as it took a minecart, and when you break a minecart now, all of the items drop, and so does the minecart. But if you do it in the right way, you pull the minecart one direction and send all of the other stuff another direction, and that unloads instantly rather than the one item at a time that you get with a regular hopper. Right? So that would be cool. There's some cool things that can do with that. I mean, now, ultimately, I'm going to end up back at hoppers because of just how sorting systems work. But it's just one of those things like, oh, do I do it that way and hide how long it takes, right? Or do I do a hopper system, right? It's just lots of fun little questions about how each of this works. And I love putting all of those pieces together. It's one of the reasons I also love programming, right? Is I can sit down and I start writing software and it's like, okay, I need this bit and let's code this up and does this work? And yes or no, which happens more often than I'd like to admit. But okay, you fix it, you tweak it, you make it. Sometimes you just tear it down and completely rewrite it or rebuild it in the case of Redstone and find solutions that work better. Or sometimes just work. Maybe they're ugly, but they work, and that's the important thing, right? But I love seeing all of those bits and pieces come together. And it's weird sometimes, right? Because I've certainly worked on projects like, okay, this isn't as easy as I thought. This isn't going to just come together lickety split like so many others. Or even if it's going to be a longer project, sometimes it's like, okay, now this is going to be really, really involved. And you know what? I'm just going to let that go. Nope, we're not going to deal with that today. Or perhaps ever, right? So an example, a few years ago, I was looking for a new bot to use on my channel. And I wasn't really happy with what I was getting out of Stream Elements and Streamlabs and stuff. So it's been a long time since I was looking at this. And I thought, what if I could write my own? I have the skills, right? I'm a programmer. I do know how to do this stuff. So I started looking at it and engineering it, right? Putting the pieces together. How can I make this event driven with lots of events coming in from different places, whether it's chat or whether it's Twitch, through Channel Point redemptions, right? Because I was on Twitch at the time. Right, I can do a bunch of these other things. And realized that, you know what? I'm not entirely sure this is worth the effort when I've got really good bots sitting over here like Mix It Up. So ultimately, I scrapped that idea and just went with Mix It Up, which is a fabulous bot. That happens. But when I get an idea that I can just roll with, and it's like, okay, is this going to take a little while? Sure, but let's get driving on this. And boy, that gets to be fun. And said, I get a little obsessive. I admit it. Said it just takes over every idle thought I have. Right, from ever not thinking about something else, boom, now I'm thinking about how I'm going to put this sorting system together. Right now. One of the big things with dealing with all of this nonsense is patience. Okay. And sometimes patience hits in a couple of different ways. I guess let me put it that way. One is because I'm getting sometimes these ideas coming so fast I can't keep up. It's like, okay, sometimes what I need to do is be patient with myself because it's easy for my thoughts to get ahead of me. Right. So say, okay, let's maybe not necessarily slow them down, but focus on, oh, that was really good. Let's file that and let the flow keep coming. And then we'll circle back to, okay, water streams. This could be really cool. All right, let's think about that. Or like I want a shulker unloader, right? I want to just be able to throw shulkers into the storage, let it unload them and throw them into the storage because I'm lazy and that's really, really convenient. Okay. a touch slower sometimes, but sometimes it's faster to let the machine go through it than for me to sit and throw it in, right? I can work in parallel with my machinery, which is fabulous, okay? So start thinking about, all right, if I put the shulker loader here or over here. Like I was sitting on the Tinker World server last night, just sort of poking around where I'm going to have my storage room, because I have it all dug out and it's ready for that. And I was looking, okay, if I put the multi-item sorter here, I'll put bulk storage over here, and okay, I put a shulker loader, I'll put it over here. And then it hit me, I can't put the shulker loader over here. And it hit me while I'm in bed an hour later. It's like, wait a minute, I can't put the shulker loader there. I need it over here because I need it to unload and feed into the bulk storage, right? So all of the stuff keeps bouncing around and hopefully refining into a diamond of an idea, okay, or a project. And so I've got to be sort of patient with myself and let those ideas flow and watch those connections come together. And it's fun, okay? But it's definitely a process I need to think through. It's like, okay, I can't just jump on this now. Let's make sure this all works together first, right? Or at least at a high level, does the approach make sense? Okay. Now, then I can engineer each bit and piece as I work through this, right? I have what I tend to think of as a top-down view of problem solving, right? I look at the big picture first. Hey, I want a storage room. Clunk. Okay. What do I need in a storage room? Okay. I need input. I need bulk storage. I need multi-item storage. I want to unload shulkers. Okay. Check. All right. Those are the big components. Now let's drill down into input system. All right. How do I want the input system to work? Right. And you just start narrowing down, coming down the funnel, if you want to look at it that way. It's like, okay, big picture, major components, break those down. Are those multi-step things? And then break it down again, if necessary, to, all right, this is what needs to get done. Now let's do that. And so you can break it down into each little piece. That's one of the things I really liked about working with CreateMod when I was doing those series. It's because you could build these really complicated machines that did lots of cool stuff, but it all started with, hey, these are really simple bits here, and a really simple bit here, and a really simple bit here, and you plug them all together and you get something amazing, okay? And said Redstone works the same way. You don't have quite as many components, or you have to build them yourself, but it's the same idea. It's like, okay, I need to start here. All right, I need to get items into the system. How can I do that? Well, it's Minecraft, so there are pretty much two ways of doing it. Actually, there's really only one way of doing it. You put stuff into a chest or some other storage thing, a chest, a shulker, a barrel, something, and then it has to go into a hopper because that's how Minecraft works. But there's another way, right? This is one of the things I was looking at is, what if I used a minecart with chest? I can load everything into that, send it off to an instant unloader, right? That's that whole break the minecart, all the items fall out, and then you can send them wherever you want to via water streams or something. That unloads that section really fast. Would that be worth looking at instead of, X, Y, and Z, right? Very possible, right? And so start going through is, okay, what are the pros and cons of doing this, pros and cons of doing that, and just take it one piece at a time, and then you test as you go. Okay, and this is important, especially if you're working on a programming project or big Redstone project, something like that. If testing is a possibility, right? It's like, okay, if I throw 27 stacks of stone at this, are they all going to make it in to my storage, right? The bulk storage I've set aside for this, or some of them going to miss, right? Which is a question I was thinking about last night, because one of the things I was looking at is maybe using WaterStream for the bulk storage before I get into pure hopper dropper mess for the multi-item system. Is it's a common issue sometimes if items go across hoppers too fast. The hopper will pull some, but they've got a cooldown, and they'll miss the next stacks, right? So if I end up throwing 27 stacks of something at this all at once, am I going to miss things? Right? And the answer to that is probably yes, right? And I don't want that. So I'm thinking about these different takes on, hey, is this how I want this to go? And said I can test that, right? I can get the loading system. All right, the loading system does this now, or I can take the WaterStream, right, and say, okay, if I just drop, boom, all 27 stacks at this, are things going to get missed? And I can verify that, yes, this is going to work, or this isn't, and now we need to do something about that. That process, it takes time, right? And you need to be patient with yourself as you go through it. And that's one of those things that, yeah, I could see people, especially like with Redstone, it's like, it just gets so long, right? And really, it's the same thing if you're doing some mega build, right? Just some decorative build as opposed to some technical Redstone thing, is that those bases rarely happen all at once, okay? I mean, sometimes they do, and that's just crazy. But like, if you take, for example, Pearlescent Moon's Hermitcraft 9 base, okay? It didn't happen all at once. She came in and said, okay, I need to build this section, or I need to shape this landmass first, okay? And then, okay, I need to do this terraforming here. All right, and then I need to do a build, right, the structure here and the structure here, and I need partly because, okay, she needed a storage room, so here's a building that holds her storage, okay? And then, oh, here's this big organic plant thing that goes on top, and right, and so it comes together one piece at a time until the end. She had this glorious alien landscape built in Hermitcraft, directly across from Gemini Tay's Elven Kingdom, which again, she built one bit at a time, or she would build up here towers, and we'll structure those towers, or we'll texture this tower, and then we'll texture this, and okay, now we'll need to work on this little village that's behind it, right? All of these things came together one item at a time. And it's kind of important that you can, to be able to acknowledge that, yes, I can focus on this, and I can focus on this, and I can focus on this. And when you're done, you've got this whole thing together. Okay. Now, I said, when I'm working on something like Redstone, right, it's rarely big like some mega base, but the idea is, okay, I can focus on this piece. And once I can get this done, oh, this will be awesome. And then I can do this, and then this will be done, right? And I'm totally expecting to go through this and maybe take a couple of weeks to do, right? Because it's going to be large, especially the multi-item sorters. Those things are just, they're technical and finicky, and you need to be sure everything gets put in the right place. And all of that is just, it time consuming, okay? But, and then there's setting up the filters, which takes forever and is not one of the most exciting things in the world to do. But obviously it's something that just needs to happen. There's a lot of patience with it. But along with that is the idea of, hey, don't be hasty. Be deliberate about what you're doing, okay? It's like, you may have a fabulous idea. And I said, I'll get these projects. I'll just get these ideas. They're flashing through my mind. It's like, okay, do this and do this and do this. Okay, cool. These are all fabulous ideas. Write them down. Or maybe take one and start chasing down how would it connect to the other bits, right? Because, hey, I'm going to have bulk storage. Am I going to do shulker loaders or not? In my case, probably not, because I don't have that many shulker boxes. I'm not going to build a shulker farm. And I don't have the diamonds to buy a bunch of shulker boxes to really fill this out. So, but the reality is I'm probably not going to be digging that much that I'm going to need full automated shulker storage. If I need to box some up myself, because it is getting full, okay, I can do that. Okay, so cool. That's great. I've made a choice. I've worked through, hey, how is this going to work? What's the input? What's the output? What are the consequences of doing it this way? And no, I can't see the whole future, but I have enough experience with Minecraft and my play style to know that, hey, I'm probably not going to fill up this much storage, or I'm going to probably need, maybe I'll need at most 9 double chests for stone. Okay, because I don't necessarily dig that much. So okay, that's fine. I'll just build that in. I won't worry about needing shulker loaders. I'll just be sure I've got enough storage for what I typically need. And if I do start to overflow that, that's fine. I'll go get a couple of shulker boxes and just take care of that. Okay. So that's the idea. I don't need to be in a rush. Okay. Sure, maybe I want to get it done quickly, but it's better to be it's better to take the time and think through the consequences first, at least to the extent that you can, before you plug everything back together. Now, do I always do this in my life? No, I don't. But it's still a really nice approach. It's like, okay, let's think through, how is this stuff going to connect? How is it going to work? Will this actually fit what I want to do, how I play, right? And that's one of those other fun things is I'm building a storage system for me. What works for me may not necessarily work for somebody else, right? Because we have different play styles. Yes, eventually the items have to go in the chests. Cool, I can do that, right? And I'm looking at a storage system I've never used before, and I was looking at a number of them. I've used a couple. There's some really old school ones that are nice, they work, but they have behaviors I'm not particularly excited about, like the old Nembomb storage system, which works. And I think I saw one that was even more optimized than that, but it's still, hey, you've got chests, but you have to leave one item of everything that you're storing in this chest. Okay. That works, but it's annoying. And it works well for smaller storage. All right, cool. Then I was looking at Myazuma Games. Cass from Myazuma Games has a really nice multi-item sorter. I've used it in the past. It tends to be fairly reliable. And it's great. But there's just so many little bits and bobs of, all right, you need to build this flip-flop here. And so I've got a bunch of droppers. I got to place them in a certain way, which is actually a little complicated because of how things get placed in Minecraft. And you be sure you've got an item on each one. And it's really fiddly, and I wasn't looking forward to that. So I went looking and found another one. I found one that's like, oh, this one is 16 minecarts and all of this. Is like, I'm not sure I want to deal with minecarts today. So I found another one that this one looks good. I think I like how this one's going to work, but it doesn't allow for these are 2 block wide slices instead of 1 block wide slices. But as I got thinking about it, it's like, you know, I think this might actually work. Yes, it means the storage is a little bit elongated, but it also means that I can put, rather than signs on chests all the way across, I could put items blocks next to the chest in that gap, and use that to indicate what's in the chests, so I don't need signs, which means a little bit less lag, and it would be kind of cool. It's a little more obvious of what's going to be in this section, right? So yeah, just thinking through, I could use this, but it's got something I'm maybe not perfectly thrilled with because it's 2 block slices instead of 1, but I can use that to my advantage here. So it's a trade-off that becomes not necessarily turning a weakness into a strength, but working with how this operates to make other things easier, right? So yeah, this is something I love to do it. This is why I love doing redstone in Minecraft, is because I love putting all of this stuff together. And no, I'm not in SciCraft. I'm not one of those hyper technical players. But I like doing these types of little things. So anyway, it's fun. I love this stuff. I love working on projects like this. And if you do too, or just, heck, you just like working on anything, or you just like doing puzzles, I don't know, let me know. Drop a comment, and I'm happy to talk about it. But that will do it for me today. Remember to like the video, subscribe, all that stuff if you're on YouTube. And until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Static signing off.